What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Block is Hot. Today is Sunday, and one of the big things I've wanted to do on this channel is interview different projects and really talk to their creators and figure out what they're all about. So we're going to be talking about a pretty exciting project today called Adamon, and we have Shane joining us, who is one of the creators and founders of this project, and he's just going to be going over, all the details that we need to hear. So if you can just introduce yourself, Shane, to The Block.
Awesome. Well, what's up, Block? My name's Shane, or Spec in Discord. But yeah, so like he said, I'm one of the founders, one of the creators here, kind of the creative lead behind Adamon. And so I'm not the one doing any of the art or anything like that, totally illiterate with art. But I did write the manga and definitely the biggest creative vision behind everything. But yeah, so anyways, I've been a gamer since I was like 10 years old. Probably even earlier than that. My first ever game that I remember playing was Pokemon Sapphire. So like monster collectors are just like in my DNA, I feel like, you know what I mean? And so played Sapphire, fell in love with Pokemon right off the bat. And that was like one of the only games that I would play up until like I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And then I started playing Call of Duty and like moving more into like Xbox and stuff like that. But always, I had a Game Boy, I had a GameCube, I had the DS, the 3DS, the Switch now. I had all of the Nintendo stuff.
Dude, I'm in the same boat as you, bro. Like I remember having like Game Boys and DSs and playing Pokemon, and it was just so much fun. That's why I was excited when I saw your project, because I'm like, if we can get this in a play to earn version, like this is just going to be dope, because so many people love that concept.
Exactly. And when I first heard of NFTs, that was like the first thing that popped into my brain. I was like, imagine, because like the thing about NFTs, right, is like we're technically already using NFTs, whether it's like in Valorant or Call of Duty, because you buy Valorant points and then you exchange that for a skin, and that skin is in game. The only difference is with the NFTs, you actually own that skin. You can pull it out of the game. It's in your wallet, So it's like the whole concept of NFTs, gamers have already been doing this. And so when you incorporate a monster collector where you're capturing these monsters and you're actually owning it and it's in your wallet, that just makes all the sense in the world.
No, and like I'm on like such the same page as you, because it was one of those things. I just made a video about a game a couple of days ago, and it's like we already have so many people around the world playing games, and they're doing it for free because they love it and it's fun and they can do it on their own time. So like the next level to that is that ownership aspect of it. So,
exactly.
and like one of the things that I think about all the time is you have big game studios like Blizzard, for example, that has Hearthstone as one of their card games. It's like, instead of spending all this money and getting these different digital cards that don't have value at the end of the day, now all of a sudden you can own those and you can sell those and you can make a whole game out of it. And like now all of a sudden people can actually be rewarded monetarily through playing the game. So
exactly.
So you're making this play to earn game. It's kind of like an Pokemon style Adamon. Can you share your screen and just kind of walk through some of the aspects of your project and kind of show us what you're doing?
Yeah, let me just head over to the website. Okay, so this is the website right here. We definitely did take a long time working on this. And for those of you on Ethereum who've seen Illuvium, that was kind of like the inspiration with the parallax on the front page. I just thought it was super cool. So anyways, so we have this like homepage right here, but basically getting into the Genesis collection, that's currently what we're minting right now. So this, you can go right now, head over to the Adamon website, mint a 3D Adamon. And what's cool about this is these 5 Adamon, they're 5 different species. And the one that you mint, you're actually going to be starting the game with. So it's a little bit of a different concept where Pokemon, you pick your starter, you have 3 options, stuff like that. We're still going to have to figure out how to, work around that. But with these, this is like your Adamon partner that you're starting the game with. So you hop in, you have a Spoopus, you have a Rhinor. And what's cool about these is they're a little bit stronger than the average Adamon that you'd find. You can still find something stronger in the wild, but we want to reward early holders and give you a little bit of a little boost on those individual stat values. And these Genesis Adamon can breed. So the way breeding works, I've been getting so many messages in Discord because people think that Rhinor is going to have like Firecon's wings. Like they think like fusion is going to be happening. And that's not the case. But what is going to be happening is, so there's male and female in the metadata. And if you have a male Spoopus, that male Spoopus can breed with any water type Adamon and any phantom type Adamon. So this is going to be your key to unlocking breeding for Adamon that you catch in the game, essentially. So if there's like a really dope water Adamon that's like in the competitive scene that you need to breed, Spoopus is going to be what you use to breed with that. And we're having a light paper come out in the beginning of April. It's currently being worked on. But the way breeding works, it's all type-based. So dual type Adamon are pretty versatile because Spoopus can breed with water and phantom. Plasbite would be able to breed with a plasma type. And the female Genesis Adamon are how you would breed the Genesis Adamon. So you have a female Spoopus, you can breed it with a male Spoopus, you create a Spoopus baby. Female is what determines the species. So that's pretty much the breeding mechanics there. But yeah, they have unique stats required to breed, and Firicon right here on the screen right now is the only way that you're going to be able to obtain it. So Firicon won't be in game. I think that's also something really important, is having like exclusive Adamon that like once the game starts coming out and people are playing it, like you have something where you can flex and be like, hey, I was here from the very beginning, kind of a thing. That's something that I've always liked.
I really like that too, because because like the big thing with games is like you guys are at the start of this in a sense, and you guys have done an incredible amount of work, but the amount of resources that it takes to actually build a game, I mean, It just takes time, right? So if you have one of those, you can be like, yo, I was like an OG follower. I was one of the people supporting this project and believed in the vision before, it really took off. So I like that concept too, of having those kind of like OG NFTs.
Yeah. That's I think that's like one of the most important things in NFTs, is having something that you can say like, hey, I was there from the beginning. I'm an OG. I can flex this no matter what it is, whether it's a game, whether it's a super cool project, anything. Like having one of the first things that's come out is always like just something that you can like say to your bros and be like, damn, look at this shit. Like this is sick. And so that's what I always wanted. I wanted something that you can really flex, that you can be proud of having. Just overall, just proud of having it and taking pride in ownership of it. And then I did want to go down here to the founders, since we're on like OG status, because founders cards were actually the first Adamon that we ever released. And this was back in August. So our project's been around for quite a while. We started before smart contracts were even a thing on Cardano. And we've been building in silence this entire time. Like the website before this was really bad. I did it myself.
Oh God.
I mean, it wasn't really bad. It was presentable, but this is so much better for sure. And I have Telfire to thank for that. But yeah, so these were the original founders cards. There's 300 of those in total. And, from the very beginning, like I wanted to have really cool art, really cool card art, and just art in general. I've always loved, been a fan of, and like seeing something where immediately your brain just goes, that's insane. That's the effect that my project, like that I want us to have. And for the founders cards, there's a lot of really cool holder benefits because of these being the OG stuff. Only 300 of them in existence. But you get whitelisted for all our Adamon drops. You get 10% off all Adamon mints for the duration of the mint. So every NFT that you mint from us, you get 10% off. And then you get an exclusive Genesis Adamon species. So, we're showing off the 5 Genesis Adamon in 3D. The species that you're going to get airdropped to you, only Founders Edition holders will have.
Oh, wow. So is there only going to be 300 of those in totality? Okay.
Yes. So when the game, like my vision for this is like when it's fully built out, you're going to see somebody with like a certain Adamon and you're going to know like there's no way that you're ever going to be able to obtain that other than going to the secondary market and getting it. And I've always felt like just, again, OG status stuff you can flex is like super cool. I've always been that guy where it's like, I want to grind for the cool stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think that's like part of the cool is like part of the game is like trying to get that rare, hard to find stuff and progressing towards that.
Exactly. So, we're doing a lot to try and reward early, people that are supporting our project, because we know it's definitely not for quick flippers and people that are just buying this PFP, selling it for 3x immediately after mint, and then moving on to the next one. That's not what our project's about, and we really want to focus on the art, focus on the quality, and take time to like develop things out and make a game that's play to earn, that's fun first, because that's what's missing in a lot of play to earn games, because they're just not fun to play.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's totally what's happening. And like the crypto space, like a lot of the games out there are kind of just text based or random number generator. Oh, did you win this combat or not type thing.
Right.
So,
and it's like, that's not at all what we're trying to go for. We're trying to make something on the level of Pokemon in terms of quality.
so the site looks really awesome, Shane. And I like the idea of this whole play to earn concept thing. What's like kind of your roadmap? Like what stuff are you working on? Where do you see this going? What are some kind of timelines you guys are working with here?
Yeah, sure. So let's head over to the roadmap section here. And so this kind of gives like a full overview of everything that, we've done since August. So you can see here with the founders cards, this was the first drop that we had. And then we did a little Halloween special. And right now we're working on selling out of the Genesis collection. So upcoming here, we have the manga, and the first chapter is already finished up, and, we have it professionally illustrated. So it's really cool. And I wrote the story for it. So this is kind of like my baby here.
Nice.
Yeah. And like, I think I've already written out 3 chapters for it. So it's like the first one's done completely, and we're going to be starting to illustrate the second one and the third chapter as well. Because I think having like a story that you can tie in with your NFTs is just another really cool thing that's important. And then TCG set 1. So let's go over to the homepage here. And these are the card arts that you see here with Spitzy, Puncheroo, Rhino, all of these. So we have an artist in Japan that we work with who just does an insane job making dynamic artwork for us. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, TCG, they're making a trading card game, because that's what TCG stands for.
Yeah.
Not what we were planning on doing. I'll say that. TCG, we should have just called it like trading cards, stuff like that. But there is no game plan for these. But again, never say never. I think having a card game actually would be cool. And it is something that I've thought about. But in terms of like a roadmap timeline kind of thing, it's not like we're going to be making a game with the cards. So the game that we do want to make is a fully 3D immersive world, and it's not just going to be like some Pokemon Red, the first ever Pokemon game. Like we would be going like probably Sword and Shield level, if not higher than that, is what we would be trying to reach.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And so when we go roadmap here, so Genesis Collection 2 is up in Q3, as well as building out more game devs. So with the Genesis Collection Part 2, we're going to have 5 more Adamon coming in, because the biggest thing is right now we're focused on growth. We're focused on getting that core player base of people that own Adamon NFTs. And that way we can have more players as the game grows. And so with the collection part 2, it's going to be 5 more Adamon species, and we're going to try to have 1 Genesis Mon for each type. That way you're able to breed with any Adamon that's in the game. And so building out the game dev, we need to obviously have a big team if we're going to do something as ambitious as making a game on the level of Sword and Shield. I mean, that's not something that you can just easily say with like 3 bros. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you need to have a pretty big team. The plan would be, once we sell out of these 2 collections, we would be going to a game development studio and building out a really dope alpha. That's the game plan.
Okay,
And
and you're
so,
expecting to do most of that by the end of this year as far as the 2 sales. So the first sale is happening right now with the 5 Genesis, and then you're
right,
going to have another sale in quarter 3. Is it also
right.
going to be like 5,000 of Adamon?
Yeah,
Is the
that's the
plan?
plan. Yeah, it's going to be 5 other species and yeah, 5,000 total supply for that. So it'd be a total of 10,000, but it's split between 2 different collections.
It's split between 2, and there's going to be a total of 10 different ones. And then
Right.
once you guys do all that, that's when you take the storyline that you created, the vision, all the Adamon that you guys have created, and kind of go to the game studio and be like, hey, this is what we want to do.
Right.
Can you professionally make this? Because
Right.
by then you would hopefully have, the fan base, the following, the brand, and some,
Exactly.
starter capital.
Exactly. That's completely the game plan. Because like in reality, you can't just like wake up and say, I'm building a game and make a game. It just doesn't work like that. Things take time. You have to build up to the point to where you can even begin starting the game. And but yeah, so the game plan would be 2023 is when we would release the alpha. And so I just say 2023 is kind of like a blank statement because this literally could be like December 31st is when the alpha comes out, just because like you need that time to go over different scenarios in game and play test, because you don't want to come out with something that like, if you're going to work this hard to make an alpha, like why drop something that's unplayable and buggy? So like we want to make something that's fun. We want to make something that has quality and substance. And ultimately that does take time.
Yeah. And I think that's like a good point to make too. I think with these games, like a lot of people are really impatient when it comes to crypto. Mm-hmm. So I think that like just a lot of people in crypto are pretty impatient. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you're investing in stuff like this, and I said it in the upcoming mint video that I had showcased you guys in, it's like, this is a long-term mindset thing. You're not going to buy this and get a game tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you're buying this sort of thing with the vision in mind of, hey, I could get some of these Adamon now for 50 ADA when ADA's 80 cents or whatever. Isn't it 50 ADA for your guys' current Genesis, or is it less than that?
It's 55.
It's 55 ADA. Yeah. So like you're getting some Adamon at 55 ADA, and who knows where we're going to be at in 2 years, right? Or a year and a half. So it's pretty interesting. I think like games are going to be so huge in the crypto space. And it's one of those things where it's like, it just takes so long for those to come out. Mm-hmm. And the big bet that people have to make is choose like, okay, what team or what project or what vision or what story do I think has the highest chance of pulling this off?
Right. And it's definitely not an easy thing to do, regardless of like where you're at, because one, you could have all the funding in the world and then Kevin appears with Pixelmon. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like you can have all the funding in the world, but like if you don't have the right team behind it, you're not going to be able to make something like that that's in your head as an investor. And that's why like with Adamon, we really wanted to focus hardcore on the art and make things that are dope. Like with the Genesis collection that's going on right now, this took us 5 months to do. Like we've been working on this since September, and we wanted to make it like flawless as we, we're working on it. And that's why it took so long. We could have dropped it in December. It would have looked terrible. But we took that extra time to make the quality. And I think quality is really important. And it's kind of like you said, with the crypto mindset of, gains today, 30%, like everybody just wants everything immediately. And the real world doesn't really work like that.
No, for sure. And I think it's one of those things too. It's like, you never really know how much time something takes until you do it. Cause like, I can never watch a YouTube video the same way now. And I haven't really brought that up on my channel, but it's like, dude, when you really think about the amount of stuff that goes into it, the planning, the execution, the thought process, like it's just crazy. I can't even look at a YouTube video the same anymore, because now I can see when they cut it, when they edited it, like all that stuff. It's crazy. So I think it's like one of those things, like when you're actually working on a project, you're like, oh crap, dude, like there is a lot of planning and process. Now to go off of that, like, what do you think is going to separate you guys from these other projects? And what do you think is separating you and the rest of your team? Like, why should investors like trust you guys to deliver on this?
No, that's a great question. I think it really is the fact that like, we're not, venture capital. We don't have that backing, you know what I mean? And it's like, I have a mindset where, and I've always been like this, I'm just super competitive. And so, I played competitive Call of Duty. I played chess. I played Halo. I'm not a god at Halo, but but I've played a lot of competitive games, and I've also done sales. That's what I've been doing since I was 18. And I live in Las Vegas, so I did vacation sales since I was 18, and I've just kind of learned like what you actually need to do in terms of making a good product. And also with that competitive mindset, right now I feel like everybody's sleeping on Adamon, and it pisses me off, quite frankly. And so I want to prove everybody wrong and just build a huge, amazing game. What separates the rest of our team is that we're all gamers. We've all played Pokemon. We all love Pokemon. What's cool is I can have an idea for like a game mechanic, and I can talk to Peter, who is the 3D artist slash like rigger slash, one man army over here. I can talk to him and be like, this is what's in my head. This is what would be dope. And he already knows like instantly like what he needs to do to make that a reality and actually have it work within a game context. And so with our core that we have right now, we're all hardworking, we're all gamers, we all are super, super passionate about the project. And when we add a future game development studio to that, because we've played so many games, we're able to really know like what we like and what we don't like. And I think with Pokemon, I got really disappointed with, where they went in X and Y and Sun and Moon and some of these games that they've come out where it just seems like things are getting, reused, and it's just the same thing over and over and over again. And so I kind of want to break the mold and make a game that's really fun that OG fans of Pokemon are going to like, essentially.
No, and I think that's pretty cool too. And what's interesting is, I can see the YouTube analytics on my channel, and the majority of people that watch are anywhere from the ages of 18 to 35. Like that's the vast majority. So I think you're really targeting that sort of audience with that. Because I think a lot of people in that age range, grew up like they played Pokemon, they liked the capturing, they liked the adventureness, the randomness. I think like the cool thing that is going to come with all these like capturing things, kind of like I just made a, oh my gosh, what is that? Alluvium on Ethereum. Like they're doing some pretty crazy stuff with their alluvials. And I just made a video on that a couple of days ago. And it's a similar thing to this, where it's like, man, if these projects and like, if people like you can pull this stuff off, I mean, that's going to be crazy, because you could go into these different games, find a random Adamon, and that Adamon might be super rare, and you might want to catch that Adamon because that Adamon's going to have great stats, and those stats are going to be really good for your team comp to battle in a tournament. And all of a sudden, if you have your own, utility token, hey guys, we're running this tournament, make sure you have strong Adamon, you're going to be able to battle. Whoever wins is going to get a bunch of tokens. So now there's actually an incentive for you to have strong Adamon and play the game and find these guys, or buy, or, pay to play in a sense in the secondary market. So it's cool. Like I like the concept of this sort of stuff, and it's really exciting because like, I know a lot of projects are going to fail, and who knows, and like in all honesty, like a lot of projects are going to fail, but the ones that are actually able to pull this off and take their time and have things thought out and put the right people in the right places, like those projects could potentially be 100, 200, 1000x situations where now all of a sudden, you bought, an Adamon in this situation for 55 ADA. And then all of a sudden one day it might be making you 55 ADA a day, just that one Adamon. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Now, as far as what you guys are doing right now, do you have any footage of like some of like the alpha kind of stuff?
Yeah, I pulled up a few things here. And so we'll kind of start with this one. And this is like not even like alpha footage. This is
the game dynamic kind of stuff.
This is like, we threw Spitzy in here and just kind of like some concept stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is kind of just showing off the idle animation and it walking around and like how smooth it is just in a engine. So this is Unreal Engine. And we threw it in here. Just super cool seeing it like alive, you know? And
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. It makes it real, you know?
I've never messed around with Unreal Engine stuff. And every time I hear about it, I'm like, I need to like just go in here and mess around.
It's fun.
Because that's pretty cool.
Fun. Yeah. And so this actually gave me an idea for a potential level where it's like, you know, for me, I guess I'll just say this, where it's like, I want to make Adamon where it's a mixture of Pokemon, old school RuneScape, and Mass Effect. If you can like even grasp that concept.
Oh man.
Yeah. And so basically, like in terms of the story, I want something that's fun to play, but I really like the aspect of choice, where if you do something in the game, something matters. And in terms of the story, Pokemon's just always been so goody two shoes. And like, I wanted to be Team Rocket, you know, like.
Oh, you're a Team Rocket guy. I don't know if I can post this video anymore, man. I don't know, dude.
In Gold and Silver or in Heart Gold, when you put on that Rocket outfit, I was like, yeah, let's go.
Oh, no. So what is your favorite Pokemon, though, for the people watching at home? So they can judge you. Yeah. What's your favorite Pokemon? And then what's your favorite Adamon?
Okay. So my favorite Pokemon is Grovyle. And I know that's a weird one to say, but I'm a huge fan of Grovyle because of the mystery dungeon game, Explorers of Time, Explorers of Darkness. Okay. Grovyle was like the main antagonist the entire game. And then you find out that he's actually the good guy and everybody else is the enemy. And like, you're just like, yeah, go Grovyle.
Oh yeah, I had to look this guy up again. Yeah, I actually like this guy a lot too.
Yeah, so Grovyle is definitely like one of my favorite Pokemon. And then it also ties into the fact of, you know, Sapphire was my first ever game and I'm a huge Gen 3 fan. And I would always start the game off with Trico. And so, yeah, just love Grovyle. My favorite Adamon, this is so tough, man. Like, because these are my babies, you know? Like,
yeah.
These are my babies. Let me...
This is obviously a tough decision for you to make.
Yeah. I can I mean...
Is this one not shown yet? Is this like
I'll show you.
You got to give us some alpha information. Oh, whoa. That's pretty sick. So this is going to be one of the ones in the future that are going to come out?
Yeah. So this is Aquara.
Okay, and, dude, I like the coloration of that. Honestly, I like that blue.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of blue. Blue's my favorite color. And I wanted to have, so this is going to be the water mythic. And, you know, uncover the secrets of Rakonda. I wonder what's going to hatch from that egg.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Some exclusive knowledge there.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is definitely one of my favorite designs. I wanted some duality with Firacon, which is the fire mythic. And yeah, just super cool. That's the luster form of it. So you have like the normal and then the shiny form like in Pokemon. So yeah, so definitely one of my favorite designs here. But again, like these are all my babies. And whenever somebody asks me that question, it's like, you know, Oregon was the first ever Adamon that we made. And that was like one of my original designs. Like a white dragon right here.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of Rayquaza a little bit.
Yeah, I get that a lot. And that wasn't really like the idea at all, but it just kind of turned out like that.
Or also it might be just a psychological thing where we're like Adamon and then we're trying to pair it up with things that already exist in our minds. And
yeah,
that looks pretty sick though.
Thank you. And I wanted like the duality of like the normal is a light, an all white dragon, and then it's luster form is like a dark dragon where it's red and black. I just thought that duality was really cool. So that was one of my first ever designs. Cloth was another one that was one of the first designs. So I have a lot of love for the founders, Adamon, where these are like, you know, definitely up there for sure. It's really hard to choose.
Yeah. And then you guys had a couple more clips here too, right? Of just some of the stuff you were working on.
Yeah. So the first one was Spitzy just kind of running around. And so this one is your Adamon following you around in the overworld. I think that's like a huge underrated thing of Pokemon that I've always really enjoyed. And it's like, it just adds something to the element where you catch something really sick and now it's following you in the overworld. You know, I've always enjoyed that.
And people are going to be able to see that, like other people. So it's almost like, hey, look at this super rare, you know, Adamon that I got.
Exactly. Like you, again, flexing is massive, right? Like that's always on my mind. I want you guys to flex your stuff. So other people are going to be able to see this. And then that leads over here to this, to where this would be the luster model here. So if you own a luster Spitzy, normally regular Spitzy is black and red. This one's white and red.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about that whole flex thing? It's like, I feel like our world, without getting too deep here, I feel like that there's a lot of where our world is heading right now is flexing and clout and social media following. I mean, we could get like super deep here, but I do think having some really limited exclusive stuff like this in the future is even going to have more significance than it does now, just because a lot of younger people and generations are caring about that stuff more. Like, I mean, imagine, because like, here's the thing, like a 60-year-old that like a 60-year-old that, you know, used to work on railroads all the time and they're not going to understand that sort of thing. Right. As our life is like progressing and things get easier in a sense, now all of a sudden we start caring about these other things like, oh, I have a special one, you know, it's interesting without like going too crazy in depth here.
No, you're totally right. Whether it's like a new iPhone, whether it's a cool watch, whether it's Supreme clothes, you know, and that's kind of becoming the way with NFTs. Like we already see that with Bored Ape Yacht Club, you know, and then Twitter, where you have like if you have Twitter Blue and you can click on the profile picture and it pulls up the actual NFT. I mean, that's just prime flexing. Same with like the Twitter verification badge. That verification badge is a flex. You only want it to flex that you have it. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of our culture for sure. Where it's like, you want to show off, you want to be validated, you know?
And I think that's like, I think what's crazy with NFTs is you can't fake it.
Right.
Because like what some people don't know about me, like I used to sell like a ton of limited shoes, man, like Yeezys, Jordan, Supreme, like I was selling a lot of that stuff. And it's kind of crazy because it's like, you can fake a pair of Yeezys.
Oh yeah.
And they do. Right. And there are a lot of fake Yeezys out there. The crazy thing with NFTs is like, let's say, for example, you had a CryptoPunk following you. People can actually see the policy ID and they're like, oh my God, that's like a real CryptoPunk, you know, like that's not fake. Like that. It's crazy, bro. Like the way our world is heading is just insane. So having special stuff, like limited stuff, exclusive stuff, the narrative, right? Oh, I don't just have, you know, Oregon. I have, you know, what is the special version called? The Luster version of it. Super cool.
Yeah. I mean, NFTs in general, like you can go on you could do our own podcast episode of just like the utility of NFTs in the future and what having, you know, policy IDs and proof of ownership and proof of authenticity, what all of that's going to mean for like the next 10 years. But yeah, it's just super exciting stuff. And when I first learned of NFTs, like you just hear like, you know, this Bored Ape just sold for 60 ETH. And you're like, what?
I know.
You're like, this makes no sense. And then you actually do a deep dive into NFTs and you're mind blown because of the actual utility that this has, especially with gaming. So it's really cool.
And I think that, so I try to convince my dad to get into NFTs all the time. And I talk to different family members. And I mean, it's just such a hard concept for people to grasp if they aren't in this industry. And what's crazy is like, even when I first heard of NFTs, because I got into crypto in 2017 and I started getting into NFTs like 2 years ago. And I remember like when I first saw it, like I'm a decently open-minded investor. And I was like, what is this crap? Because like, especially 2 years ago, I mean, I was buying thick Pokemon with like Pikachu with an ass on it. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Definitely lost some money, made some money. But what's crazy is like, the more I researched, the more I deep dived into this, I was like, this is the future, man. Yeah. A lot of everyday stuff is going to start becoming NFT based. Like, I mean, think about it even this way. Let's say a concert ticket or something. You can't fake a printout or anything like that. I mean, even identifications, you can have your ID, you can have an internet ID that can't be modified and all this stuff. So it's super cool.
Provable on the blockchain.
And it's provable. And it's going to be the same thing with these games, dude. And it's like, I feel like it's just so early. Like this space is so early and there's so many options out there. So kind of the last question I want to ask you, because I mean, this project looks pretty cool, honestly.
Thank you.
There are so many projects out there. And I know people that watch me, they're constantly bombarded with 15 new projects coming out every single day, it sounds, on all blockchains. It's not just Cardano, it's Ethereum, it's whatever, right? What is your selling point here? Like, why should the people watching this right now buy one of these Adamon today?
The reason people should buy one of these Adamon today is because we're doing something much different than like your average PFP. You know, there's 14 other projects that come out every single day. Most of them have no utility, no solid roadmap. They're just coming out with something and you're buying it to buy it, which is fine. You know, I think there is a place for NFTs that are just like cool to own for sure. But we're trying to do something so big and so honestly impactful and meaningful on Cardano. And, you know, buying one of those Adamon not only could really help, you know, us out in terms of, you know, making an awesome game in the future, but also the NFT itself is just cool. You know, I think I can go over here and show off what one of the actual NFTs looks like if you haven't seen it. I'll mute this. These are like the actual NFTs that you get, where they have their own animations. They have their own terrains, different ADA scanners. You can get a luster version. So it's like right here, this is the actual NFT that you're getting. And I think it's just cool because you can have like one of these little monsters in your wallet. So, but the big selling point again is that these will actually have utility in the future. We're building now. We want to make something cool. We're an extremely passionate, dedicated team. And we've been around since before there were even smart contracts on Cardano. And I'm a guy who's been in crypto since around 2017 as well. NFTs since July on Cardano. And I'm competitive as hell. And I want to make something that you guys are going to love.
Sweet. Sounds good, man. I'm cheering for you, man. There's not that many projects, especially on Cardano, because I come from Ethereum NFTs, just because Cardano didn't really start until about a year ago. But yeah, like there's not that many projects really building and putting in the work as far as a play to earn game yet on Cardano. So props to you guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you came on here and kind of showcased your project. If you're watching, guys, you know, give them a follow. Maybe you can buy one of these guys right now on their homepage. It's 55 ADA for one of them if you want to get one of their Genesis collections. But yeah, did you want to close anything here, man? You know, I appreciate you having you on here. And the big thing is, guys, that I like about them is that they're actually doxed. So talk about another reason, you know, that they have a higher likelihood of trying to pull this off. You know, because it's like so many teams out there aren't even doxed. So big shout out to you for actually showing your face on here and be willing to, you know, have an interview and at least like try to help the viewers understand what your project's about. And you try to, in a sense, like not sell to them, but explain your rationale for this project.
Right.
Rather than just making some random post, buy this, you know?
Exactly. Like you can show your NFTs all you want, but in the end of the day, it's still a risk of if that project's going to rug or not, right? And so like me just being as passionate as I am, I want there to be like, you know how like when you look at like red flags for a project, I want people to look at our project, look at Adamon, and it's like they're stacking green flags. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, the art's dope. Oh, the team's doxed. Oh, the roadmap's sick. They've been around since August. Like all of these little things, like of why they should be involved with our project. That was always like our goal. But yeah, we are totally doxed. You can come over here. You can read a little bit about me. You can read about our 3D artist, Pitar. I keep calling him Pitar. It's Peter. Ugh. It's the A, man. And then Jason Hollister, people love his mustache. This is Telfire. He worked on the Happy Hoppers website among a bunch of other projects. So yeah, you can read a little bit about all of us as well as the overall vision of Adamon.
Sweet, man. Well, sounds good. Thank you once again for coming on here, bro. And
of course, thank you so much for having me. This has been really fun.
No, it has been fun. I don't even know how long this has been, but it's been a good time. And I like talking to the creators of projects. It's something really cool. And I'm glad that as a content provider, I'm able to shine a light on some of these projects. And it's pretty cool, man. But yeah, if you guys like him, make sure to give a follow and keep up with their project. I'm going to put all that in the description of this video. And I hope you guys all have an awesome day.
Awesome.